Hey, family. Good evening. It's Dr. Pyant, Mindset for Freedom. Good to be here with you. I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you. Thank you for those of you that are joining on this live and those of you that don't get to join on this live to put in your questions and your comments. That's why the live is so good because you get a chance to hear exactly what I'm saying and respond to it with your comments and maybe even your questions. So it's really good. Why don't you tag somebody, and invite them to come on live? Thank you for those of you that are joining. But tonight, we want to talk about something that is just so important, um, and it's about forgiveness. And you might say, "Oh my goodness, we're talking about forgiveness. I forgave, and I know about that." But let me tell you something. We never know all that there is to know because there's always something more that we need to know. And you know how I roll. I ask God, what are we going to talk about tonight? What do your people need to hear? And it came up, first it was talking about love, and then it connected it to forgiveness. You can't live your best life unless you forgive. You have to forgive others and you have to forgive yourself. A lot of us are stuck in a painful relationship because we have not released ourselves to forgive others in a bad relationship, what we felt was a bad relationship. Let me tell you something. Everything is an experience. And yes, at the time it feels awful. And you're pissed off that you made that mistake, that you married that person, or you got involved with that person. I get it. I was there too. But let me tell you what God wants us to hear tonight about this forgiveness. Because if you don't forgive others and you don't forgive yourself, that causes a cortisol buildup in your body, which looks like stress, which looks like disease. I told you once before, for those of you that follow me, that when I had to ask the question as to why did I get cancer, because I eat well, I was going to church, felt like I was a pretty good person. So why do I have cancer? And it took a while before I got the understanding that it was about things that I had not forgiven, things that I had held in, that I wasn't even aware of at the time until I had to go back. That's what I'm telling you. You need to go back and look back over your life because there's some things, someone that you need to forgive and let go. And most of all, yourself. Because when you forgive yourself, you can heal. When you forgive others, you can heal. People are not in your life to purposely, and I'm out on a limb with that, but to purposely do us harm. Everybody is here for an experience on this earth. And we all encounter people and we have these experiences on earth. And the experiences we have on earth, they make us stronger, but they don't make you stronger right away because you don't even feel like you're being strong. As a matter of fact, you feel like you're down in the lion's den in the pit and you're not like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You are in that pit and you are in trouble when you are in a bad situation. You don't see God. You don't see help. You don't see your Savior. And even when you get out of it, you're angry. You're angry with yourself and you're angry with the person. But what if the experience that you were having was an experience that you signed up for? Not specifically that one, but you signed up to have a type of experience that you're having. Because wherever your attention goes, your energy goes, that's where your attention flows. And if your energy goes toward being needy, then that's where your attention is going to flow as well. That's what happened with me. That's why I can talk about this because I was there. I was in a place that things had happened when I was very young. And I didn't know that it was part of what I was holding in as being very painful. But when I was younger, I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be accepted into people's lives into the group because, most of you that have followed me, you know what my trauma was from an early onset, that I didn't feel loved, I didn't feel accepted. So when I got married and my husband was an addict, but I didn't know, and he was hanging out with a group of people, I wanted to be accepted into the group too. So I got all involved in what they were doing, and lo and behold, one of the people in the group introduced me without my consent to heroin. And that was the beginning of a traumatic journey for 7 years. I became an addict, but at the time, I just wanted to be accepted. And that journey, that experience took me on a deep dive, a deep, dark dive, where I struggled in life, but I fought back. But I realized later that I had to forgive the perpetrator who injected me. I had to forgive myself for being an addict. I had to heal from that wound. So somebody tonight needs to forgive themselves too. And you need to forgive that perpetrator because they were not here purposely to hurt you. They were here for an experience. Because when I became an addict, that was 7 years of heroin. I learned a lot about myself. One of the things that I learned is called resilience. I became so resilient. I'm telling you, I was just a strong chick. I was what you call a functioning addict. I went to work. I did my job. And then when I came home, I got high with my husband, who I loved and who I wanted to be a part of life with. And I did this for 7 years. But I didn't know God like I know him now. I didn't even know I needed to be free until one day then I knew. I knew that it was enough. I knew that if I didn't stop, that something bad was going to happen. This, I'm telling you, this was back in the 70 issues. When people used to get high, we used to go to Manhattan and get high. We used to be on the train coming home. We were in Manhattan. We would get our drugs. We would shoot up there. I was an addict, okay? But you would have never known because I went to work with my colleagues and I was functioning. And I came home, I cooked, I did everything, but we had nothing. But in my mind, we had each other. And I held on to that because that's what I needed. I needed to feel wanted. I needed to feel like a part of it. But I had to forgive myself and I had to forgive them because that forgiveness of myself, let me tell you what it brought. It brought tears, but it showed me where I needed to be loved. It showed me where I needed to be healed. It showed me me. I couldn't see me because I was too busy being an addict. I was too busy being high. So that's part of my story about forgiveness and my cancer. And there's so much more to it. You can get my book on higher steps for healing. And I'm telling you, it is the book of my trauma and my transformation in my life for 21 years of trauma from age 7 to almost age 60 something. But I'm going to tell you it's a step by step process. So tonight when we're talking about forgiveness, I wanted to talk to you because you cannot heal yourself. You cannot know yourself inside until you forgive. And it's important because if you don't forgive, you're going to be a victim. You're going to act like you were the victim. I need you to release that wound because you are not a victim. When you release that wound, you now create space within yourself for love to flow. Because remember what I said? Where the attention is, that's where your energy goes. And if your attention is, I'm a victim for me, oh, I can't stand them, or blah, 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 that's where your energy goes. And your chakras, the things in your body, even if you don't understand chakras, let's just talk about your heart, your intestines, where cancer tries to live. It is being blocked because the energy of love cannot flow. Light needs to flow in darkness. It needs to be able to flow and create itself in that darkness. I want you to forgive yourself for every disappointment that you felt like you had. Every disappointment in life, every disappointment with every man, every job, every parent, everything that, even with yourself, because you might not feel that you are where you wanted to be and you're so disappointed. Forgive yourself. Take that breath and let it go and heal yourself with love and say to yourself, everything is an experience. What lesson was I supposed to learn from having this experience? Because I came here to experience things on this planet, in this school, to become a better version of myself. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a better version of myself today. Being in that addictive personality, honey, that was no joke. But I can have compassion now for people. You know, sometimes people think that they have love and compassion, but sometimes you just have tolerance. You can't have compassion and love if you don't have forgiveness of yourself because you do things for different reasons. When you just do things because you are flowing in your purpose, you are flowing in your higher self. So I just wanted to tell you just to forgive yourself so that you can heal, so that you can live. Let's learn to accept and let go. Accept life. Accept those experiences. Let go of the people that are in those experiences. And if they're not alive now, you can speak to them. You bring them up. You bring them forward and you speak to them and you say, I forgive you. Because I know that you didn't do that on purpose. I'm sorry that I harnessed that for so long, that I really disliked you. I thought you ruined my life, but I didn't know that you were on your purpose in life. So I forgive you. And then you forgive yourself. You forgive that person. I had to forgive that addict. I had to forgive her. I had to see her. And I had to forgive her. And now, because I was able to forgive her, it made space. Does that make sense? It made space within me because I wasn't tight. Now I can breathe. I can cry. I can let go. But I'm not sorry. I'm happy. I'm not sad. I'm rejoicing that I was able to let go so that I can let in. You can't let in if things are tight. You have to open up your hand and let it go so that you can flow. Where your attention flows, so does your energy. So I really need you to embrace forgiveness. Forgiveness means empowerment. When you forgive, you are empowered and it helps your focus to shift from negative to positive to just being. Because you have to look at yourself. And as we close, I want to leave you with this. Be mindful of what you say you are. Why don't you continue to speak life? I am healthy. I am whole. I am loved and I am loved. I am wonderfully made. Therefore, I have joy. I am loved by God. Therefore, I have peace. I want you to embrace this concept. I am. Therefore, I have. See, when you're in forgiveness, when you're in love, your person, that I am presence can come forth. I am love. Therefore, I have joy. I am peaceful. Therefore, I have wisdom. I am grateful. Therefore, I have compassion. See, when you embrace the I am in a positive, it tells you what you have. And when you say what you have, you begin to feel into what you have. I am grateful. Therefore, I have wisdom. Feel what it feels like to have wisdom. Feel what it feels like to have peace. Feel what it feels like to have all of your needs met. I am love. I am spirit. Therefore, all of my needs are met. See, God doesn't always show up the way you and I think we should show up. But the one thing we know is that God will show up. God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So I wanted to share that with you. I hope that these pearls and these nuggets, God gave me that concept of pearls because a pearl is very valuable. And what I'm sharing with you is very valuable. I want you to love yourself. I want you to be able, because you can't help anyone else until you can help yourself. Let's not hold on to our past. Let's live now. Let's live now in the moment, not in the moment of being silly, but be in the moment of peace and know that God is our ever present help, always, and even in the time of trouble. And listen, don't you forget to ask for help. When you need help, ask for help from the Creator, and God will answer your prayer. So forgive yourself. Be empowered by the power of love that will overflow and flow through you just because you decided to forgive. You don't make your choices, but you do create your habits. And your habits make your choices and lead your life. Let's make it a habit of letting go of people, forgiving them, not judging them for the choices that they make, for the stumbles that they're making in life. Forgive them. Let them go. And you go ahead and grow and shine. All right, family. Thank you so much for those of you that were able to join and those of you that will listen later. Forgiveness is empowerment. Listen, you can follow me every Wednesday night at 6:30, but you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok at Mindset for Freedom. And you can drop me a DM if you need help with this journey. Because let me tell you something. Invest in yourself. You don't have to go the journey alone. And stop telling yourself you're okay. When you know you can live a better life, when you know you've been holding on to stuff. Therapy is healing. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in therapy because it will do you so much good. You will let go of stuff. Child, having your personal therapist, you don't even know what you're missing. I know because my clients have told me it has been a blessing to have me on speed dial. Pop, I need to talk to Dr. Pyant. I'm here for you. I've done the work. I want you to love yourself enough to give yourself the gift of being able to let it go. Sometimes you need someone to guide you into letting go. But don't hold on to things that are painful. Don't hold on to your past. And don't hold on to those people that we felt hurt us. Because what you can't see is who we really are and who we were before we came. You might have known that person before you came here. And you might have had this very conversation. I love you so much. When I get deep like that, I just go off into the galactic. Because we are spirit. We are awareness. We are consciousness. We are not this body. We live in a body. You are not the mind. You have a mind. You are the I am presence of God, a creator here to make this world a better place, to live the expression of the creator, which amplifies itself as well. That's why I say forgiveness is love and empowerment. So thank you so much for listening and joining next time. I'll see you soon. Again, this is Dr. Pyant, Mindset for Freedom, your therapist. Good night.